while this is playing, I'll tell you really quickly. Mike Wesch has a introduction to YouTube that he gave to the Library of Congress. That if you have 55 minutes of time to spare, it's probably one of the most interesting videos I've seen online in the last year. If you want to know about YouTube, I actually had to take out my YouTube slide as it made me go a little over my time. So put up a collaborative Google environment to let his students respond. Sorry, the video's a little choppy because I'm running about 100 things in the background. This isn't even my lap. Thanks, Dan Hazard. That's going to be important. That point, I think, is a key one, that our students today are preparing for jobs that don't exist yet.
Yeah, it's good.
No.
Probably.
So, that's Dr. Wesch, by the way. All right, so what are the students looking for? They have no time, they're multitasking, they're looking for categorization, organization, other pronunciation words. But more than that, students want data that's malleable, that they can change and modify and categorize the way they see fit, because every person is going to see a piece of data differently. And we'll get into how Wikipedia makes that possible here in just a minute, because we all know that the best sorting and categorizing machine is the human brain. That's why those little wavy line CAPTCHAs we can decipher and computers can't, because we can see patterns where they're just vaguely existing. So what do they need? Grouping, which I define as sorting for the self, and we see grouping in, my slides are out of order, my notes. Grouping, which is sorting for the self, which we see in Facebook by nature. Things are grouped into, Kentucky, the University of Kentucky, Lexington, these sorts of organizations that are part of the nature of Facebook. The new version of MySpace, previously you were unable to sort people into groups and categorize people to different levels of access, but now you can. For instance, my MySpace, I have a roller derby group because I'm friends with a lot of roller derby people. So it allows them to have certain access to my profile that other people might not, and that kind of thing. Like, they get to see their roller derby pictures. Tagging, which is the filtering for everyone. we're all familiar. I think most of the respondents said that they have a Facebook or MySpace. So tagging images, and you can now tag images in the new MySpace 2.0. Tagging images on Facebook is something that I think everybody is kind of familiar with. They've all been tagged in an image and then thought, remove tag. Other types of tags, geotags, particularly on Google Earth. We're going to get into this in depth here in a minute. Flickr allows you to geotag images so that they will show up in Google Earth and in other GPS-centric services. So, and finally, we can talk about tagging articles. I don't know how many people are going to be familiar with these. People might be more familiar with Fark.com, which is started by a Lexington native. Again, all these links. Dig, Technorati. What these sites do is they allow people to categorize. They categorize it as, oh, funny, chimp, dancing, all these kinds of things. And by these categories, this is part of sort of the Web 2.0 structure, is allowing users to all input categories and using the popular ones as the actual categorization. Wikipedia does this. So, this brings us to the dawn of cellular internet. Ooh. So, I looked long and hard for information that would that I could cite for these things, and unfortunately, there's no direct citations I could find. But we can say, those of us in IT can say pretty justly that instant messages cut down our amount of email. We now have instant messaging clients that are official clients for campus. OCS, we'll take a look at that towards the end. T9 messaging cuts down on cell phone usage. There's actually a study that's done on this. And so, one of the things I think that really shows sort of the generational difference. My daughter recently had a birthday. She's my stepdaughter, and she, her mother asked her, we were at dinner, and she said, how many phone calls, how many people called to wish you a happy birthday? She said, 4. And her mother looked and thought, well, that seems low. And then I looked, knowing the difference, and said, how many people text messaged you? How many people posted on your MySpace? And she goes, oh, dozens. And this is just the way these students, these future university students are communicating now. Okay, this slide has a lot of stuff, and I'm sorry. Some important facts to note. 57% of the Generation Unplugged survey that this came from was, I think, 1,000 teens aged 13 to 19. One of the things I wanted to do in this presentation, none of the data that you're seeing is more than a year and a half old, because I think if it's more than a year and a half old, might as well throw it out. It doesn't apply anymore. So this comes from spring of last year. I'm sorry, fall of last year. Spring, yeah. Spring of last year, 57% agree or somewhat agree that cell phone has improved the quality of life. 57% of smartphone users and 29% of regular cell phone users say they carry a cell phone because of how they stay connected to their world, which means their world is communication. How can we facilitate this? So, some other interesting statistics I pulled out of this, like I said, the slide's full, but let's just look at a couple. 59% of smartphone users, 39% say that it is an indicator of their personal style. It is ranked second only to clothing in the determination of social status. This slide is one that I think really pulls a lot of interesting facts to light as far as this whole study is really interesting, talks a lot about younger children. The 13 to 15-year-olds were far more focused on the aspects of their phone that allowed them to connect in new ways. They wanted GPSs. They wanted more advanced text messaging. Younger children actually preferred text messaging to voice chat, to talking on their phones, by a huge margin compared to the 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds.